I'd like to call the August 11th, 2022 awards meeting to order. We have a physical quorum represented by Joe Arfano, Laura Shepis, and myself. We also have Gabor Osh representing Ricky Erickson and Sean Connor representing Haibu that are joining us online. The Office of General Counsel is represented by Rebecca Levy. Budget is represented by Lori Whitmer. And before we begin reviewing today's agenda, I'll note that there isn't anyone physically present for public comment. Victoria, did you receive any public comment via email?
No.
All right, let the record show we did not receive any public comment. I'll pause for a moment to allow callers joining us online to unmute and speak up. Hearing no comments, we'll proceed with today's regular agenda. We have items 1 through 5 that have been reviewed by Procurement and Budget. These items are now ready to be reviewed by the Awards Committee, beginning with item 1, representing the minutes from August 4th, 2022 Awards Committee meeting. Are there any comments or corrections to be discussed? All right, may I get a motion to approve award item 1?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Laura Shepis, a second from Joe Arfano. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Minutes are approved as presented. I'll pass it over to Jenny McCollum, our Chief Procurement Officer, to present each of the remaining items before I ask for a motion, beginning with item 2.
Thank you. Through the chair, award number 2 is an invitation to negotiate. These are for our high-top vans and replacement of 2 vehicles in the JEA electric department. Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville is our recommended awardee in the amount of $325,018. We expect to get these in February of 2024. We've received 1 response. The other vendors that did not submit expressed the difficulty in obtaining the van chassis and also just uncertainty of pricing for that chassis as that part comes in a little bit later, harder to price out ahead of time. It was processed as an ITN, given that we've not purchased a similarly provisioned van before. We went from this is a 16K pound GVW cargo van and downsized and redesigned, and so we replaced the MT55s, the 25K pound, and it was a walk-in like step van. So it took a while for us to get that redesigned, figure out what we wanted to meet the end user's needs, and I'll just note that the proposed replacement van is a reclass, so from a heavy-duty Class 7 vehicle to a medium-duty Class 3 vehicle, resulting in a decreased capital and O&M costs. Any questions or comments? All right, I'll pass it back to the committee for a vote.
Thank you, Jenny. May I get a motion to approve award item 2?
Joe Arfano, so moved.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion from Joe Arfano, a second from Laura Shepis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion is adopted. I'll pass it back over to Jenny to present award item 3.
Thank you. Through the chair, award number 3 is a request for proposal. This is for 2 3,750 kVA 3-phase pad mount transformers. This is a new item that we are adding to inventory, and Van Tran Transformers is our recommended awardee in the amount of $438,500. We had quite a bit of competition here. We received 7 responses. This was an RFP. We based it on 55% pricing, 45% lead time. And this transformer is specifically being purchased to provide power to Mayo Clinic's newest proton therapy device for cancer treatment. And they were looking to have in service approximately 18 months from now. And this device is the first of its kind in the United States. and the second unit is needed to have in inventory as a spare. So I will note, due to the evaluation to make sure that we could get it here timely for Mayo Clinic, we did evaluate on price and lead time, and so the highest evaluated bid was about $120,000 higher than the lowest price bid, but they had the shortest lead time, which wouldn't delay Mayo's schedule. Any questions or comments?
Jenny, this is Stephen. I'm just curious, with the lead time being 30 weeks for a new transformer, we have a spare, but in the event that we have to use the spare, what's the turnaround time for a repair? And do we feel like if we were in a situation where we had to get another transformer, like where you have multiple failures, is one spare enough given the 30-week lead time?
That's a great question. So the life of these transformers are, they're pretty long life. This is kind of what we would consider more of like a critical spare, since there's only one on our system. By the time this one does fail, or we would need to look at maybe a repair or a refurb, we do have the backup to be able to replace it, and we would have some options at that point. The market might not be the way it is today. That 30-week lead time is supply chain disruptions and everything that we're facing in the market today. So, having that spare it should be sufficient for us, knowing that it does, it should last, 20, 30 years, but.
Yeah, I'm also, given that it's the, a pad mounted transformer, I was also thinking of physical damage. Not just the normal runtime, but, things that would happen, whether it's a hurricane or a truck or something like that. Just something to consider, and maybe the contingency for, of developing what we could do if we were in that situation rather than having two spares.
Yeah, I'm not sure we would have to talk to the supplier, but getting these two is a feat in itself. So
Sure.
it's the risk side and the lead time, but by the time we would need to purchase this again, my hope is nowhere near that 30 weeks. These are three-phase transformers right now. We weren't having issues in the market, but we are seeing a shift in lead times and availability, reduced slotting. So this is a win for what we have going on today.
And to your very good question, Stephen, there's definitely a role for the electric group and the resilience, hazard planning, reliability group to come together and work with Mayo to say, okay, well, as we install this, how are we protecting it from flood surges? How are we protecting it from
the elements?
The elements, whether that be natural or humans?
I guess, Jenny, the summary of this is, let's just not look at this through a lens of normal operations, that we do need to consider because of the lead times, and the transformers is a perfect example where we need to expand our perspective and just make sure that we're protecting the customers in this situation, the Mayo Clinic, and not interrupting the service there.
On the positive side, the day this goes in, I would love to have, the Daily Record and the Jacksonville Business Journal point out JEA is helping build a healthier community here, supporting this unique cancer treatment.
Absolutely.
This is Gabor. I'm involved with that, basically my service. So Mayo Clinic is aware of the fact that it's a very special transformer. We did that just to help them to put that new cancer treatment in service, in production. And they're very aware of that. We only ordered one spare, and they understand. Actually, we told them that takes 45 weeks to get an order. So they're aware of that, and they understand the risk. On the
Great.
physical protection of the transformer, it's a very well protected place outside of the flood zone. Traffic is nothing nearby, so I'm pretty confident that we're going to be just fine with the two transformers.
Thank you, Gabor.
Thanks, everyone. Good conversation. Great PR, like Laura said. And I'll pass it back to the chair for a vote.
Thank you, Jenny. May I get a motion to approve award item 3?
So moved.
And a second?
Joe Orfano, second.
We have a motion from Laura Shepis, a second from Joe Orfano. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion is adopted. I'll pass it back over to Jenny to present award item 4.
Thank you. Through the chair, award number 4 is a rescind. And this is for construction services for a new Class 2 pump station. We had 2 bids that we received. We had a third potential bidder that expressed interest, so we extended our bid opening 2 weeks to see if we could get a third party interested. But when we opened those on the second bid due date, we still had the same 2. So we moved forward to open, and then upon evaluation, it became apparent that neither company met the minimum qualifications. There were 2 different responsible bidders lists that we needed them to be a part of. The WP1, which is pump station installation, construction, maintenance, repair. And the other one was WM2, which is our water, sewer, reclaimed pressure pipe construction underground trench, which, so we've got 2 different kind of skill sets here. Both companies were on the WP1, neither were on the WM2. And I'll note that there are 22 companies on both lists. They just weren't on both of those lists. So what we are recommending is that we rescind this with the intent to rebid utilizing different minimum qualifications, allowing work experience or allowing a subcontractor to fulfill the RBL WM2 requirement. So we think that might open up some competition too, but certainly at least make sure that we have the right skill set here to do this work. Any questions or comments? All right, I'll pass it back to the chair for a vote.
May I get a motion to approve award item 4?
So moved.
And a second?
Sean Connor, second.
We have a motion from Laura Shepis, a second from Sean Connor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is adopted. I'll pass it back over to Jenny to present our final award item for today.
Thank you. Award number 5. This is, we're calling ratification. I'd like to add a change order / ratification to that top line there, just to make it clear. But this is for the COJ Hart Expressway modification, Bay Street to Talleyrand Avenue. JB Coxwell Contracting, Inc. Is already out there. They have been awarded this work, and there was an emergency type repair that needed to happen. The amount of that was $81,667.40. A little more background. The request was an emergency repair on an 8-inch gravity sewer main on Gator Boulevard. The JEA maintenance crew were investigating a sewer line in the project area concerning the depression in the road. That the depression in the road was not related to the sewer line, but during the TV inspection, 2 sections were found to have failed. And those failed sections were within the contractor's project area. So JEA requested that they provide a quote for the repair, and they used their contracted unit prices for this work to create that quote. So this was emergency work, change order kind of popped up while we were in the middle of the project, resulting in that ratification because the work's been complete. We haven't paid for it yet, but just from a transparency perspective, we are making that clear up front for the committee. Any questions or comments? All right, I'll pass it back to the chair for a vote.
May I get a motion to approve award item 5?
Joe Arpano, so moved.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion from Joe Arpano, second from Laura Shepis. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, motion is adopted. The entire agenda representing items 1 through 5 is approved for August 11th, 2022. Is there any other business to come before the awards committee at this time? Seeing none, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great week.